Boy Scouts. And if you would recall, last year they did a special display for us as well. They had actually worn a slightly different uniform.
Yes, that's right.
Going back to the Baden Powell days. The unarmed units practice on Saturday mornings. They're given assistance from the Barbados Defense Force, where we would assist them with their drill.
I see. And this is the right half of the unarmed units?
Yes, this is the right half of the unarmed units. Always led by the Boy Scouts.
Right. And for those of us who might be confused, there's a left half as well?
Yes, there is.
And, okay, so I assume this has to be part of forming that square.
Forming the hollow square.
Man, walking fellas. Oh, you lit, man. I ain't in that hurry. Hold up.
We're going to go to St. Anne's Fort, and there we can see some of the...
We're seeing the Barbados Prison Service.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can also see in the blue the government security guards and the Barbados Youth Service. And now that we're seeing the, inside St. Anne's Fort, I'm not sure that the public realizes that the Barbados National Armory is also located there and is open for visitors. It was opened in 2004 inside the old Naval Magazine alongside the walls of St. Anne's Fort. It is here that Barbados has an impressive gun collection, amongst which is an Elizabethan cannon of 1600, of the year 1600, the only one known to exist anywhere in the world.
I see.
And we must give our thanks to the late Major Hartland, who put together all of the cannon that we have around the garrison area, as well as the cannon that are on display in the Naval Magazine.
And that is all part of the reason why it is a special heritage site.
Today.
Yes.
And I remember the days when he would have his work parties.
St. Anne's Fort is looking a little empty, a little bare.
Yes, the left half is already on its way out. There you're seeing the mess hall on the right hand side of the screen. That's where the soldiers have their meals, as well as any shows or anything. So and it's also a building that the public can use. Here they are stepping off the Barbados Prison Service. The government security guards, and they're followed now by the Cadet Corps Band in their toy soldier uniform.
Yes.
And here we have now the Barbados Youth Service, which was established in 1991. And it is a 12-month developmental training program for unemployed youth between the ages of 16 and 22. The program is normally divided into 3 phases: the residential, skills development, and job attachment. Here we have the landship following. And right behind them we have the Girl Guides Association of Barbados. The Girl Guides Association of Barbados is always one of the largest groups on parade. And as we watch, we can see that little swagger that they are well known for.
Yeah, we used to enjoy it. Many would have spent the night, I think, at Pax Hill. And so this is a special day for them.
Yes, for all on parade.
Yes.
For most of the youth groups that we have on the parade, they usually have to make special arrangements for them the night before, since it's such an early start. I know that they, as you would have said before, the girl guys spend the night at Pat's Hill, the Boy Scouts usually at Hazelwood, and the cadets across at cadet headquarters. The troops are on parade for almost 2.5 hours, so it is essential that they have something to eat before the parade. Unfortunately, we have one or two that don't, and then they feel a little woozy during the parade. But we always tell them to make sure that they have a good solid breakfast before they come on, as well as to drink lots of liquids, as Crispin would have mentioned before.
This is the last detachment.
This is, yeah, the girl guys is the last detachment for the left half of the parade. And also while they're in the St. Anne's Fort, they are given a barley sugar sweet, which they can use during the parade, just to give them a little boost. And here we have a good view of the main guard, the clock tower.
It wasn't so much the marching, I think, is standing still, for a certain amount of time.
You're always glad to receive an order which gives you a chance to move.
Yes.
And the prison service in their bright red uniform.
Okay, we were taking in the music and just enjoying the music of the parade here today. And could you tell us now what we're seeing as they arrive here at the garrison?
Yes, right now we're seeing the Barbados landship as they
and the
approach.
landship, I understand, the Lord High Admiral hasn't marched with them.
He hasn't marched with them since 2008, since his promotion. He has reached the rank where he is no longer required to do that, and he sits in the audience. I am sure that he is watching all of them carefully, and they will know if they've made any mistakes on parade afterwards. Approaching us now is the Girl Guides Association of Barbados. It really is good to be back here at the garrison. Last year we were in the port, and the garrison gives a completely different feel to the parade.
I think I also heard people mention the actual impact of your feet on the ground because the garrison's grass.
Yes, it is much easier. You have in the port, you have the hard tarmac, and you have to deal with the heat coming up off of the tarmac.
Yes.
So having the grass here makes it easier. And we must also remember that, besides having the Barbados Defense Force, we also have the the Barbados, the Turf Club, also in residence here, and we have the George Washington House. You know, we have a lot of things around the garrison that gives it an atmosphere. You know.
So what are we seeing now?
We're actually seeing the troops in position on parade. The remainder of the left half is coming into position. And of course, while we're waiting for the troops, we're just showing, as we can see, the clock tower. I can tell you a little bit about the clock tower. The main guard was bought locally in 1906 and converted into the exclusive, at the time, Savannah Club. But it is now owned by the Barbados government, and it is the headquarters, as I've said before, for the Barbados Legion and the Barbados Poppy League. It has a most imposing clock tower which chimes its way through the day, helping those with no timepieces of their own.
Is the headquarters of the Barbados Legion?
It is the headquarters of the Barbados Legion and the Barbados Poppy League. It is one of the area's most outstanding buildings architecturally and has a unique George III coat of arms in Coad stone, which was designed especially for this building.
And now we have the adjutant.
Yes, this is the adjutant. He will dress the parade.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the parade is now settled in position on the parade square in the garrison, and the parade adjutant has dismissed the junior officers temporarily, and they will join the other senior officers and rejoin the parade at a later point. The parade adjutant today is Captain James Richard Maloney. Captain Maloney is an officer from the Barbados Regiment who's currently assigned to the Barbados Cadet Corps, where he is in fact the commanding officer of the number 3 company. He's got over 30 years of experience in the military, having joined the Barbados Regiment as a mere lad in 1983. He is a registrar, the assistant registrar at the Caribbean Examination Council. He holds a master's degree in educational testing and measurement from the University of the West Indies. He's a happily married man, a devout Christian, and his motto is hard work and determination seldom fail. Our adjutant, parade adjutant today, Captain James Richard Maloney. As the junior officers follow, Captain Maloney will dress the parade and prepare for the next phase.
The warrant officer has joined the adjutant. I see.
But while they're on the he's the person that is directly responsible for making sure that they're all lined up
I see.
appropriately. W.O. Eversley would have enlisted in 1983 as a pioneer.
The parade agent has stood the parade at ease in preparation for the next phase, which is the promenade by the corps drummers of the mass band. Tradition has it that while troops were on parade or preparing for a battle or to execute some operation, the officers, maybe because of a night out strategizing, no doubt, might well be in their beds and asleep. The corps of drums then marched through the barrack area where the officers were asleep to signal, to wake them up, to tell them, look, your troops are on parade and you need to assemble. Hence the promenade by the corps of drummers from the mass band.
This phase of the parade is known as the assembly. The significance of the assembly was that in armies past, after the sergeants were satisfied that their troops were correct and in good order, they would then set off to find the officers.
Simultaneously, while this is happening at the garrison, there's also other activity at St. Anne's Fort. And I do believe that this is the colors.
Yes, it is the colors. They're now leaving the officers' mess.
And acting Sub-Lieutenant Hackett will explain.
Lieutenant Shane Drakes. On the regimental color, we have Second Lieutenant Paul Alexander, and the warrant officer in charge of the color parties, Warrant Officer Class 2, Leroy Stewart. The escorts are also Color Sergeant Marshall C. and Color Sergeant Leacock T. Now what you're seeing here is a form, and a form means that you would change your direction but not your formation. They're marking time at this time, and they're off, and the color party will then make their way onto the garrison savannah.
And there is something very significant about the color party. They arrive before the arrival of His Excellency.
Yeah, so the color party is the last to be on parade before the actually dignitaries arrive.
Okay.
Now, the regimental color is always paraded whenever the regiment is on a formal parade. However, the Queen's color is only paraded in the presence of the sovereign or her representative, which is His Excellency the Governor General. Now, compliments are always paid to the colors at all times.
And so, as the color party makes its way onto the parade square, we hand back to my colleague Peter Allen. Peter?
Thank you, Sherwood. And back here at the garrison, or continuing at the garrison, we are watching, I think, the adjutant hand over to the parade to IC.
Yes, he's now in preparation to do that. The parade to IC this year is Assistant Commissioner of Police Euclid Thompson.
The job of the parade to IC, what's his role in the parade?
Well, the parade second in command is responsible for having full account of all persons on parade on the handover from the parade adjutant. He will march on the detachment commanders. These are the officers that would have just assembled, and they would march on and go and stand in front of their troops and take command of each detachment. That's his responsibility. He's also, of course, in case the parade commander falls ill, he has to know all the orders in order to take over.
The officers having assembled on parade. The adjutant will now hand over the parade to the parade's second in command.
Good morning, sir. I am Captain James Maloney, adjutant for this morning's parade.
Troops are on parade in each detachment in total.
58 officers.
And we can hear him now speaking about the number of officers and so on.
88 other ranks, all formed up in the open order and awaiting your command, sir. Request permission to carry out, please, sir.
The parade adjutant has now handed over the parade, and he will go and take up his position to the right of the line of officers.
The parade's second in command is Mr. Euclid Thompson, born October 17th, 1954. Upon completing secondary school in 1973, he joined the Royal Barbados Police Force. Having completed training at the Regional Police Training Center in Christchurch, he was assigned as a court prosecutor in 1982. He currently holds the post of Assistant Commissioner of Police with responsibility for operational services. He too is a devout Christian and an elder in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade's second in command.
Parade! Order! Arm! Stand east! Parade! Bridgetown! Officers! Upwards turn! Take post in front of your detachment.
officers have marched forward to take post in front of their detachments. In other words, will now take command of their detachments. And they have been marching to the tune of Pak Shibak. The officers will halt in front of their detachments. They will turn about and they will dress inwards. This is to ensure that all of the officers are in line.
That's certainly a beautiful sight,
It is.
as we can see them all lined up there.
The officers are steady on parade, and the parade second in command will now make preparations for the flags to march on to the parade.
What we're seeing now are the flag bearers carrying the flags of all the units on parade, and they are also marching to their respective detachments. They are being marched on to the music of Bromley. And Peter, as you have been saying, we always have things happening simultaneously, and at this point the parade commander will be approaching the parade to take up his position.
The parade commander this year being Major Jackman.
Yes, Major Michael Jackman.
They're now at ease.
Yes, and they're awaiting the parade commander. The 2IC will then march forward and hand over to the parade commander in a similar fashion as how the adjutant handed over to him.
I see. Is there a special way that the parade commander is chosen?
The parade commander is usually a commanding officer, either of the Barbados Regiment or of the Coast Guard.
Parade second in command will now report to the parade commander. He will report on the state of the parade and hand over the parade to the parade commander. Commander of the parade this morning is Major Michael Jackman.
Morning, sir. Parade second command. Coordination, thermal parade of parade armed and unarmed. Open order, ready and awaiting the president's open order. Sir, permission carry on.
Major Michael Jackman enlisted in the Barbados Defense Force in 1987. After basic training in England, he was commissioned in 1990. He's currently the commanding officer of the Barbados Regiment. He's happily married for 22 years and the father of two lovely daughters, Radhika and Rashida.
When his son comes back already.
Having assumed command, he will prepare the parade to receive the national and regimental colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the colors are marched onto parade.
By the right! Quick, march!
On the screen, we're watching the color party as they march the colors onto the parade. Acting Sub-Lieutenant Crispin Hackett would have spoken a bit about the two colors. I will let you know that the regimental color is really the embodiment of a regiment. So they're not only a locating symbol, although they're not used these days for that purpose, but they also record the proud and costly history of each regiment. As such, they are guarded and escorted with unbelievable zest. That's why you will see the armed soldiers around the colors. They must always be protected. The colors that you see today were first presented in 1981 by the Princess Royal, Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret. The Queen's color, to give you a description, the Queen's color of the Barbados Regiment is in fact the Barbados national flag with the royal cipher of Queen Elizabeth II and the number 1, which designates the regiment as the 1st Battalion of the Barbados Regiment inscribed in it. The officers who carry the colors are in the rank of lieutenant, and what was historically termed as flag guards, they are today called escorts.
I think it would be nice for our viewers to find out something about the parade commander, Major Jackman.
Major Michael S. Jackman began his military service in 1987. His years of service includes platoon commander in the Infantry Reserve. More recently, in August of 2015, he was appointed commanding officer of the Barbados Regiment. The decorated major holds Defense Board commendations for his work during Cricket World Cup and the Archcot operations. His achievements also include the General Service Medal for his efforts during the prison crisis. For the 2015 49th Annual Independence Day Parade, Major Michael S. Jackman is the parade commander.
Major Jackman, today's parade commander.
Yes, and as parade commander, he would be responsible for taking over the parade from the second in command. He will march on, he would have marched on the Queen's and regimental colors on the parade, and he will receive the dignitaries, the Chief Justice, the Prime Minister, and the reviewing officer, the Governor General.
And the parade at this moment is at ease?
Yes, the parade is at ease.
And and we are standing by for the arrival of the dignitaries. And we can see the vehicles entering to our right. You will see our parade commander standing at ease. He's awaiting. Here are the vehicles.
Yes, the parade commander is bringing the
Chief of
parade,
Staff.
the parade to attention to receive both the acting chief of staff and the acting commissioner of police. And we can see the two cars about to stop by the door openers.
Is the acting chief of staff of Barbados Defence Force, commanded with Errington Sherwin, and the acting commissioner of police, Mr. Tyrone Griffith.
We would have seen that the acting chief of staff is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Janet Sherlin. They will now receive a salute from the parade commander.
And I remember last year you taught us that there are varying salutes.
Yes, they are. We will now await the arrival of the Chief Justice of Barbados, the Honorable Justice Sir Marston Gibson. He will receive a general salute.
What does a general salute entail?
The general salute would entail the troops being brought to attention. The parade commander will raise his sword to his mouth and bring it back down in the salute. We have the full royal salute, which is given to the Governor General, and the troops will present arms.
We have standing here at the ready some members.
Yes, we can see backing us right now is the acting Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Commander Errington Sherlin, and also the acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tyrone Griffith. We can also see the G1 of the Barbados Defence Force, Commander Fernella Cordell. And here we have the arrival of the Chief Justice.
All right, then on parade is the Chief Justice of Barbados, the Honorable Sir Marston Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Chief Justice.
The Honorable Mr. Justice Marston Gibson, Chief Justice and President of the Court of Appeal. Mr. Justice Marston Gibson assumed office as the 13th Chief Justice of Barbados on the 1st of September 2011. Chief Justice Gibson was born on the 3rd of March 1954 and was educated at St. Matthias School, the Foundation School, and Harrison College. He would have lived overseas for a number of years before returning to Barbados.
And the Chief Justice, as we all know, or if you don't, he's quite the musician as well.
He is as well, and he's also an avid historian of military history.
Yes. So he will now stand on the dais and receive
the general salute. Yes.
the parade commander.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Right, the parade commander has now stood the troops at ease, and he's awaiting the arrival of the acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Richard Seeley.
The Prime Minister is at the Heads of Government Conference, I think, the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference in Malta. So we have the Honourable Richard Seeley in the post of Acting Prime Minister for this morning's proceedings. I think that gives you an idea of just what the parade square looks like this morning.
Yes, it just did.
It's a cool morning.
I'm sure that the troops are enjoying it this morning.
Yes,
they don't
no
have to deal with the
sun.
hot sun. And there's a nice breeze as well to keep them
Yes.
cool. And everything will be to time. You know, every person is notified of when they're supposed to arrive, and they will arrive there at the exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a number of, in preparation, there would have been a number of signalers put in position to ensure that this happens.
Oh, I know that the Governor General is usually on time. He has to be.
Yes, he does.
The ADC takes care of that.
He does.
Yes. We see them waiting the arrival of the Governor General. Parade Commander is alerting us to his arrival.
Yeah, the Prime Minister.
Of the Prime Minister, I do beg your pardon. Yes. The acting Prime Minister.
The next dignitary arriving on parade is the Honourable Richard Seeley, acting Prime Minister of Barbados. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Mr. Seeley.
Peter, on these occasions, the Barbados Defence Force would assign an ADC and aide-de-camp to the Prime Minister. And that ADC will be responsible for ensuring that the Prime Minister is on time.
We see here the arrival of the acting Prime Minister, the Honourable Richard Seeley. And the umbrellas are out,
Yes, the
because
rain is
once
down
again
again.
we're being blessed by a few brief showers, and I say that with all the hope in the world.
And here we have the troops who will present arms, and the band will play.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
The next arrival will be His Excellency, the Governor General. And he's usually accompanied by the mounted troop. Because of the weather this morning, I do not think that the mounted troop will actually go onto the parade ground.
Is there a reason for that?
Yes, because if the ground is soft, then the hooves
I see.
from the
Okay.
troops,
Yes.
from the horses.
Understood.
Yes.
That usually is such a sight to see, you know, and I
They
know
are.
children look forward to that. You can see them running to get near to see.
And here we can see them in the distance, the mounted troop.
Yes. That's a lovely shot of the garrison and its environs.
Yes.
We can still see a few Barbadians making their way on the roads with umbrellas, and here we see the mounted troop, and there we see the official car of His Excellency. Everything to time. So we would expect that we would hear the clock tower signaling the arrival.
Yes, at 8 o'clock when the Governor General arrives. And that clock is also synchronized.
I felt it would be. I felt it would be. You still have an opportunity to come and spend part of your Independence morning with us. Just bring your umbrella. You can bring a chair if you like. Many of the Barbadians here have opted to stand, and they're having quite a good time. And as we could see, we're awaiting the arrival of His Excellency. When the Governor General's vehicle arrives, we notice that the parade is told to shoulder arms.
Yes, it basically would be the same movement as was done for the Prime Minister. It would be termed a royal salute, and the music would be different. It would be a shortened version of the national anthem.
Oh, there we have members of the ship, the Ark Peace, in Barbados, celebrating our independence with us. And we have, I think we're going to be able to let you meet them a little later on. They are a medical ship, a hospital ship, and it's certainly quite interesting. It's at berth 6. I am not sure if you go down by the flour mill you get an opportunity to see it, but it's south of the entrance of the Barbados Coast Guard, and there is an opportunity for you to tour the ship, so we'll let you know a little later on. We see the Chief Justice.
We see the Cabinet Secretary. We see the Prime Minister, the Acting Prime Minister,
Yes.
Honorable Richard Seeley.
We see members of the Diplomatic Corps.
Yes, we see the PS of Defense and Security, Mr. Gabriel Springer.
And here we
And
see
here we have the mounted troop.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next dignitary to arrive on parade.
And what you will notice, as I indicated, they are not going onto the passing line.
Yes.
Elliot Belgrade, Governor General of Barbados. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of His Excellency.
And remember, Lieutenant Colonel Branch did say that the ground would be a bit too soft for the horses' hooves, so His Excellency comes to the desk with the 2 outriders.
That's right. Sir Elliot Fitzroy Belgrave, Knight Grand Cross of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, Knight of St. Andrew, and Companion of Honor of Barbados, Queen's Counsel. He is a Barbadian citizen and a retired High Court judge, and he has served as Governor General of Barbados since the 1st of June 2012. Here he is being met by the acting Chief of Staff and the acting Commissioner of Police. And his aide-de-camp, Captain Carlos Lovell, is behind him.
And you know, we can get the information from you firsthand, what is like as an ADC, having gotten the Governor General there on time.
Yes, and in preparation for that, you do assist the Governor General before he leaves Government House. You will ensure that all of his insignia is in place and there are no faults to his dress. So as indicated, the Governor General was just given a royal salute as the Queen's representative.
Having led the salute to His Excellency, the parade commander, Major Michael Jackman, will report the state of the parade to His Excellency and invite him as reviewing officer to inspect the detachments on parade.
The difference in the reporting at this point is instead of giving the Governor General
Good morning, Your Excellency.
full numbers or included with full
Major
numbers,
Michael
he will
Jackman.
name each
It is
detachment.
my honor to command this morning's parade to commemorate the 49th anniversary of the independence of Barbados. On parade are 60 officers and 888 other ranks. The parade is comprised of armed units drawn from the Barbados Coast Guard, the Barbados Regiment, the Royal Barbados Police Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. The unarmed units are drawn from the Barbados Boy Scout Association, the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados, the Red Cross Society of Barbados, the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, the Barbados Fire Service, the Barbados Defense Force Sports Program, the Barbados Prison Service, the Government Security Guard Service, the Barbados Youth Service, Barbados Landship Association, and the Girl Guide Association of Barbados. Also on parade are the massed bands of the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Barbados Defense Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. The parade is formed up in 3 sides of a whole square at the open order and awaits the pleasure of your inspection. Sir, please.
I'm sure our viewers must have been wondering just what that tap, 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 tap they were hearing was, but it was the rain falling on our microphones. It's a rainy day, but it's a really cool and nice day for a parade.
It is.
His Excellency now is going to begin his
inspection of the parade. The parade commander would have told the right half of the parade to remain standing at attention, and the remainder would have stood at ease.
This is a pretty special Land Rover that His Excellency's in.
Yes, it is a Land Rover that has been maintained by the Barbados Defence Force for probably more than 20 years now. It's quite
Really?
yes, it's quite an old Land Rover. It is kept always undercover, and for these ceremonial occasions it is valued and put on display for this. His
I
Excellency.
have memories of either Her Majesty or one of the members of the royal family in a Land Rover like this, or maybe the same one,
Yes.
Inspecting our troops.
That is right. That has been done before.
Yes, and it was I don't know, it gave you a special thrill, I guess, you know, to see that. And he's going to be inspecting, first of all.
He inspects, first of all, he would have inspected the band before it started to play, and now he's inspecting the right half of the parade. Before the days of the Land Rover, the Governor General actually used to walk to inspect the troops. He will drive along the front rank of the detachments, and the music that is being played now is I Love Barbados by R. Francis. The troops on parade would have been placed in open order. Open order means that the soldiers in the front row would take one pace forward, and the soldiers in the rear row would take one step backwards, thereby opening up two channels, because on some occasions the inspecting officer would actually go down in each rank. On this occasion, that will not be happening. Of course, the uniforms have to be perfect.
Do they notice?
His Excellency does notice.
Okay.
He does notice.
So he really inspects
he
them.
really inspects.
And then he would give his comments to whom?
He would give his comments to the acting chief of staff.
I see. Who will not be pleased.
No, he will not. If anything is wrong.
If anything is yes, if anything is wrong.
This is where it is important for every senior NCO in charge of their unit to pre-inspect the troops, check their boots, make sure they don't have any loose threads hanging about.
The left hand of the parade.
Pardon?
Half of the parade.
Left half of the parade, yes. That we're seeing now. He's now approaching the Girl Guides Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as His Excellency returns to the saluting dais.
And here we have the music of Island in the Sun by Irving Burgee. And this is a beautiful aerial shot of the Land Rover with the national colors covering the spare wheel of the Land Rover.
And this is the first time they've done this?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've seen it before. It really is a nice
Apparently
touch.
it's the first time.
Yes.
we've got lots of firsts here
Yeah.
today, for sure.
The Land Rover would take His Excellency back to the saluting days, and the parade commander would then ask for permission to carry on with the remainder of the parade. As always, the aide-de-camp is first out and there to give assistance to the Governor General.
I'm not sure if our viewers may have heard you during that wonderful rendition of O Island in the Sun, but you say that the parade commander is now going to ask permission.
Yes, to carry on with the remainder of the
I
parade.
see.
The inspection having been completed, the parade commander will now seek leave of His Excellency to carry on with the other phases of the parade.
Your Excellency, may I have leave to carry on with the remainder of the parade? Sir, please. Thank you, sir.
The parade commander now marches back to his original position on the parade.
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
The next
prepared.
phase of the parade will give the troops, the detachments on parade, an opportunity to march past and pay compliments to the reviewing officer.
The troop signals the beginning of the march past of the parade.
The mass band comprising management from the Royal Barbados Police Force, Barbados Defense Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps are now trooping, marching past, to pay compliments to His Excellency. Today the mass band, under the baton of the Deputy Director of Music, Superintendent Cortez Calendar.
It is
50 years from band cadet to Deputy Director of Music. He has been in his current appointment since 1st of October 2014.
As Commander Dowrid said, 50 years from band cadet to Deputy Director of Music, appointed to his current post on October 1st, 2014. For several years, he was the principal clarinetist of the police band. Mr. Calendar has established himself on the musical landscape of the country and has been involved in various genres of music. He has been the leader and member of several calypso tents where he played saxophone. Cortez was a founding member of the NCF Festival Band, and he is presently still a member. He's taught at some of the country's secondary schools. He played the cello with the Barbados String Quartet and currently plays cello with the Barbados Chamber Orchestra, and is formerly Deputy Director of the Barbados Youth Symphony Orchestra. His first parade would have been at the age of 15. However, he's set to retire in 2016, and this may be his last parade.
Superintendent Calendar is assisted by the Directors of Music from the Barbados Defense Force, Captain Alfred Taylor, and from the Barbados Cadet Corps, Captain Leon Cummings. The Drum Major is Inspector Codrington of the Royal Barbados Police Force, and his accompanying drum majors, Sergeant Rouse of the Barbados Defense Force and Sergeant Eiffel of the Barbados Cadet Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the mass bands celebrating our 49th anniversary of independence. Thank you. You can feel free to applaud if you are happy with what you see.
The mass bands at this moment are counter marching, and they will, on completion of marching past in slow time, they will then do it in the opposite direction in quick time. They've just marched to the tune of Beautiful Barbados by Emil Straker.
The Royal Barbados Police Force Band also played a significant role in that first Independence night as well. I can remember seeing the old video, and I mean, it was amazing to watch them on that first night. Beautiful, beautiful. And they're always a treat, always a thrill.
And I believe that last year they celebrated, it was 125 years.
A long time. There we have Superintendent Cortez Calendar up front. I wonder what's going through his mind.
It is a very proud moment for him, being Deputy Director of the band. And he would have some nostalgia since it may be his, his last parade. But the color of the mass bands with the varying uniforms of the Barbados Defense Force, the Police Force, and the cadets. And of course, the sound of having them all together is tremendous. And here they're marching to the tune of Trident of Bimshire by Kenrick Moore.
Commander is making sure that the parade is well dressed for the march past, where all detachments will get the opportunity to pay compliments to the reviewing officer.
The parade commander is now going to order the armed units to march past in slow and quick time.
Is he dressing the left half and right half at this point?
Yes, you can see the conducting warrant officer, W. Warren Eversley, who has just completed that task in preparation for the march past.
And this march past is in slow time?
Slow and quick time.
Slow and quick time.
For the armed units only at this point.
Okay.
So there will be no movement with the right half or the left half of the parade. The troops are now getting into the formation in which they will do the march past.
There must be some tips that are given, like the person on the outside tell the others on the inside. So
No, there are set steps that they have to march in order to complete these maneuvers.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of talking on parade. In fact, the only talking you should have are from the commanders giving the orders. And we've just heard the commander of the Coast Guard giving the order to step off. Each detachment commander will give his own orders. Now previously we would have seen that the commander would have been giving orders collectively to all the troops, for on this occasion it's each commander will give the orders. And here we have the Barbados Coast Guard, first to lead the march past. This detachment is commanded by Lieutenant Anderson Goodrich.
This is the march past in slow time.
The musical selections for this is Independence Day by Carly A. Williams and Scipio by Handel.
Lieutenant Anderson Goodrich. He is assisted by Sub-Lieutenant Kerry Byron.
Here we would have just witnessed the parade commander getting into position to lead the march past.
Promenade is commanded by Captain Maria Moore. She is assisted by Second Lieutenant Joseph Sam and Second Lieutenant S. Brooker.
One of the beautiful things about being at the garrison, Savannah, is the backdrop that our Barbadians paint in color. Blue, yellow, some in black.
We definitely come out and show our national pride.
is the Guard of Honor. The Guard Commander is Captain Pedro J. To the right half of the Guard of Honor is Second
Corps of Women being led by Captain Moore.
Captain Maria Mora.
Yes.
And what you will, as they pass the Governor General, you will see the officers carrying their swords, and they will flourish the swords in salute.
As the flags are passed. The left half of the Guard of Honor is Lieutenant Sean Broom, carrying the Queen's color, the national color, is Lieutenant Shane Gray. The regimental color is being carried by Second Lieutenant Paul Alexander. The color escort, the Warrant Officer Leroy Stewart.
If you look, you see the precision of the lines on the screen.
Yes.
The 3 ranks.
Following the Guard of Honor is the detachment from the Royal Barbados Police Force.
A Guard of Honor is formed to present formal ceremonial compliments to royal or presidential dignitaries by a guard not exceeding 100 personnel.
Superintendent John Boyce and Assistant Superintendent Barry Hunt.
And here we have on the screen the colors.
And when they pass, you're supposed to stand.
Yes, pay compliments to the
afford
colors.
them their
Yes.
respect.
And the flags are lowered to give respect to the Governor General.
I see.
And here we see the full guard.
And next,
And the cadets are here on the screen.
Barbados Cadet Corps Infantry is commanded by Lieutenant Campbell. Asher Chatterton and Cadet Under Officer Leon Boucher.
The Royal Barbados Police Force is made up of both women and men, and you will notice that the men in the police force on parade, they do wear their skirts. They're usually more often than not positioned within the center of that platoon.
on screen we see the Barbados Cadet Corps.
These are the Sea Cadets. The Sea Cadets are on
The Sea
parade, and these are the
Cadets.
Land Cadets.
There are 3 on parade today.
There's 3 detachments on parade.
I see these Cadet Corps, the Sea Cadets.
No, there are two detachments. Yeah, you have the Land Cadets, and then you have the Sea Cadets who form their
I
own
see.
detachment.
Okay.
There are 17 companies, so they're quite a large number to draw from.
By the armed unit. Currently on the passing line is the highly successful Barbados Defense Force Sports Program, a detachment of champions in every sport.
This was the sports program you were telling us about earlier.
Yes, the Barbados Defense Force was chosen as the ideal agency to oversee this program, since much of the needed infrastructure for the management and administration of such a program was already in place. So we provide them with transport, meals, accommodation, and most importantly, discipline,
Yes.
which is essential for any sport.
Yes.
Over the past 24 years, close to 400 athletes have passed through the program.
Wonderful.
Here we see the parade commander moving back into position on the parade ground. When he has paid his compliments to the Governor General, he moves to the right of the parade and counter marches until he stands next to the tent where the Governor General is housed, and he's there in case the Governor General has any questions he wishes to ask. So the parade commander does not march all the way around.
I see.
Here he has given the order to change the step from slow time
We're
into
now
quick
in
time.
quick time.
And here the parade commander has to move very quickly to get back to the front of the parade.
Parade commander having instructed the detachment to break into quick time. They'll return to the passing line and pay accompaniment while marching in quick time.
The Barbados Coast Guard is always splendid in their whites. And here we see Captain Maria Moore leading the Corps of Women. They're carrying the submachine gun SMGs.
We had the honor of having Captain Mora as our liaison for a couple of years, assisting with our preparations for the parade. So it's a joy now to see her actually in the parade.
Well, within the Barbados Defense Force, you're given a chance to expand your horizons. You're never kept in one place for an extended length of time. So we try to produce rounded officers and soldiers.
This is the Guard of
The
Honor.
Guard of Honor.
Color part.
The music being played is the Hunter's Call.
That's right.
I know a lot of our viewers enjoy listening to the music of the
Yes.
police band.
They would have played the Army and the Marine beforehand and Life on the Ocean Wave. And I believe they will follow with a Great Little Army by K. Alford. The Hunting Call is by Dr. Thomas Arn.
And of course quite a few local numbers as well.
Yes.
Royal Barbados Police Force.
A favorite with the crowd here, the Royal Barbados Police Force receiving applause.
Our viewers are getting some excellent aerial shots of the parade.
Barbados Cadet Corps and Banner Party.
Here we have the Sea Cadets, followed by the sports program.
Last but not least, the national champions, the Barbados Defense Force Sports Program.
On completion of the march past by the armed units, they will then return to their positions where they will be dressed once again, and the parade commander will then order the unarmed units to do their march past in quick time only.
In quick time only.
Yes. All the members on parade put in many hours of hard work to showcase what they have achieved on this day to the Barbadian public, and I think they have done an excellent job. We're yet to see the unarmed units, but I expect it will be just as sharp. Here you can see them forming at the rear back into their preparation to march into their positions. Here we have,
and there we see Superintendent Cortez Calendar as he directs the band. And remember, we said that he has been with the force, I think, since he was 15.
Yes, he started out in the cadet band.
Yes, and we understand that this may be his last parade, his last hurrah. So we certainly wish him all the best. I am sure he will continue, though, his music in the various festival bands and so on. But it's been a pleasure to see him here this morning.
Yes. You remember that last year we would have seen Mr. Kerry Ellis for the first time in his position as director of music.
For all the years, it was Dr. Christopher Atherley.
And here we can see the unarmed units awaiting their turn as the armed units get back into position.
The armed units are now being repositioned in their original position on the parade square as we prepare for the unarmed units to march past and pay compliments to His Excellency.
As you would have asked me before, unfortunately we didn't see it on the screen, but you would have seen the troops would have done the turn and made the form to get back into position. And if we had been able to see it, you would have seen the number of steps precisely that they would have taken.
How many steps are those?
I believe for the first person it is 7 steps, and then everybody then marches into position.
I see.
Move to the right and come through. Right turn.
And you can see the unarmed units, the Barbados Boy Scouts, who would lead off. Have the left half have been turned. Both the left and the right half have been turned, and the officers have moved into position to do the march past in quick time.
The first unarmed unit detachment on the passing line with the Barbados Boy Scouts Association. Barbados Boy Scouts is led by Assistant Scoutmaster Hadley Roach. He is assisted by Assistant Scoutmaster Chad Carter and Venture Scout Leader Dwayne Worrell. On parade also with the Barbados Boy Scouts is their Corps Grumps. Second detachment on the passing line is the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados. The detachment is led by Mr. Anderson Ellis, and he is assisted by Miss Khadija Williams. The flag officer is
crowd here.
Following the St. John Ambulance is the Red Cross Society of Barbados. The Red Cross detachment is commanded by Mr. Jamal Payne. He is assisted by Miss Diane Griffith. Flag Officer Staff Sergeant Stephen Hogan.
The Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, they are celebrating an important anniversary.
Adventist Pathfinders. The Pathfinders detachment is led by Mr. Carlos Eiffel, and he's assisted by Mr. Kenneth Stewart.
The unarmed units are marching to the music of Sons of the Brave by T. Biggood and Wellington by W. Zilli.
Led by Acting Divisional Officer Gordon Buxell, who was assisted by Station Officer Henderson Patrick. The Flag Officer is Acting Sub Officer Emerson White. Next is the Prison Service Detachment, Barbados Prison Service. The detachment commander is Acting Chief Officer Joel
And this is
Cumberbatch.
both male and female.
Yes.
Daniel Williams. The flag officer is Prison Officer Ishmael Hinkson. The next detachment on the passing line is the Government Security Guards, ably led by Senior Security Officer Malcolm Tate, who is assisted by Senior Security Guard David Smith. The flag officer for the Government Security Guards is Mr. Dexter Gibbs. Next, on the passing line, is a detachment from the Barbados Youth Service. The detachment is led this morning by Brett Rice. He is assisted by Camille Paris. The flag officer is Latasha Whitney. The next detachment making waves on the passing line is the Barbados Land Ship. The commanding officer of the ship is Lorraine Seeley. The number one officer is Gene Carson. Carrying the flag today for the land ship is Commander Roland Jones. The land ship is closely followed by the Girl Guides Association of Barbados. The large detachment from the Girl Guides is commanded by Miss Maria Mears. She's assisted by Miss Jillian Gibbs and Mrs. Erica Hewitt Smith. Also on parade is the drum corps from the Girl Guides Association.
While we've been watching the march past, we have also been taking note that the Barbados Legion is there. They're waiting very quietly and patiently. for their turn to come and march past the Governor General. It never ceases to amaze me, the age of some of these gentlemen, and I think that they walk straighter than I do.
That they do. There are some very proud individuals. We can see them on the screen waiting for their turn. We have both the Barbados Legion and the members of their Corps of Drums, the Sentries and Corps of Drums. The Sentries and Corps of Drums are the ones who would do the parade every Thursday in front of the main guard, the changing of the Sentry Parade for tourists and locals.
So they've just been given their nod, I think, to form up and march on, and they're marching on.
Well, they're still waiting. I can see Mr. Michael Stewart there, who's in command this year. So they're still waiting.
They formed up when the Girl Guides were passing, marching past the Governor General.
As you mentioned, Peter, everything on the parade happens simultaneously,
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
No waiting periods.
That's why you can keep time.
The next detachment to march past and pay compliments to the detachment from the Barbados Legion. Military veterans are splendidly turned up. The jackets, berries, led today by Mr. Michael Stewart.
After World War I, at the instigation of Field Marshal Earl Haig and General Smuts, an association called the British Empire League was founded in 1921. The British Empire League was founded because of the disability, the social and economic conditions, and the plight of war veterans. The aim of the League was that by charitable means to seek to ensure that no Empire ex-servicemen or women shall be situation.
And that's why you have the Poppy Appeal.
The Poppy Appeal, which is
very important.
Very important, a tremendous help to these gentlemen and women. Because in conjunction with that, you also have their widows as well.
When they do a ceremonial change of the guard at the main guard here at the garrison. So feel free to come and join with them and celebrate every Thursday the changing of the guard. Ladies and gentlemen, all veterans, all Barbados Legion.
The Legion is a registered charity in Barbados with a membership roll of approximately 500 persons. For those with economic challenges, they're given a monthly welfare allowance. And in addition to providing this monthly allowance, they're given Christmas bonuses for those who are deserving. And assistance is also provided with repairs to houses. They're also given assistance with making of last wills and testaments, payment of funeral expenses for destitute families, and the provision of the headstones where required.
So that Poppy Appeal is very
Yes, and they also give assistance with medical expenses where necessary.
Now, we're standing by for the mounted troop. They're going to do their walking canterbucks.
It would appear so. I'm just checking to see what's going to happen. They're not in their usual position.
And this is because if you have just joined us, you would realize that it's a rainy day here at the garrison in Barbados, and the turf is rather soft.
Yes, the mounted troop will be doing their march past. This is being permitted now because since the remainder of the parade has completed their march past in slow time and in quick time. If the horses dig up the ground now, it would not matter. The mounted troop will walk and canter past to the music of Cavalry Brigade, arranged by G. Miller, can be over by G. Carter and Q. Rowe. And Peter, as we know, horses were used from the inception of the Royal Barbados Police Force in 1835.
Inspector Carrie Grant is leading the mounted troop this morning.
Yes, she led them as well last year. The mounted troop came into being in 1880s and was supervised by Major C.J. Lawrence, in whose honor the present riding school at District 8 Police Station is named. And it is also the station where the troop is still stationed.
And continuing with Inspector Grant, she's the first female in command of the mounted troop.
And she made that history last year. Independence. In the early years, the mounted troop was mainly used as a form of transportation for the members of the Royal Barbados Police Force. The officers took correspondence around the island and from police station to police station. Their presence helped to prevent crime as they worked, since the managers of businesses handled payrolls, and this ensured that they would not be robbed. That is back in the early days. The troop comprises of 19 police officers. The majority of the horses within the troop are bought as 3 to 6 year olds from Minnesota, USA, with only one currently from Canada. And these horses are all half-breds. They are fully trained by the mounted officers after their arrival in Barbados.
Karine Grant. She's assisted by Station Sergeant Mena.
The training of the horses ranges from 8 months to a longer period, depending on the temperament of the horse, as we can see sometimes on the parade. And the training includes work on the inside, that is schooling with respect to parade drill and commands, as well as on the road where they are exposed to traffic, loud noises, crowds, and so forth. And we have seen over the years how effective having the horses for crowd control.
Yes. As gentle as they are, because they can manage crowds gently. And we heard they're a local number. Biggie Iries, this thing can be over. And it's not, because we've got lots more happening at the garrison this morning for our 49th annual Independence Parade.
And once again, while the mounted troop was paying their respects to the Governor General, we have the Pathfinders in position, getting ready for the display this year. The bands at this moment are moving towards the rear of the parade to make the center of the parade ground available to the Pathfinders for their display. So the display today will be done by the Pathfinder Ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In August 2015, the church celebrated 65 years since the General Conference officially adopted the Pathfinder Club as a worldwide program. Since then, the Pathfinder Club is now present in nearly 170 countries around the world.
Yes, and they will be, I think, doing a special, they will have a special moment on parade a little later on.
Yes, it's coming up shortly. The parade, Commander Dorridge, the parade announcer, will talk us through the actual display.
Right now, the Royal Barbados Police Force Band and the band,
The mass band.
the mass band, they're getting ready to.
They're going to the rear of the parade.
Yeah.
And this is to leave the center of the parade ground open for the display by the Pathfinders.
And that's a wonderful shot of the members of the public in their national colors. That's what we meant when we said that they painted such a wonderful backdrop for the parade this morning.
And the colors on parade, where you can see the prison service right next to the government security guards, the red and the blue. And here we see the crowd in all of their national colors.
Okay, the Pathfinders are standing by. Give you a little sneak preview. Best seat in the house for the viewers at home because the others here have not noticed them as yet or aware that they're doing this, but they are southeast of the clock tower, celebrating 65
years. Even though it began earlier, this present group is celebrating 65 years. It was in 1909, actually, when a vote was taken for a program for youth between the ages of 10 and 15 called Junior Missionary Volunteer Societies, which was established in churches and schools.
As we see from the overhead shot, we see the members of the public, lots of telephones, taking lots of pictures and taking lots of movies.
Now the national flags
the
are flying.
national flag flying in the breeze. The parade commander once again takes command of the parade.
He has
assumed his position in command of the parade and is instructed that the parade be dressed and prepared for the next phase.
We see members of the dignitaries, the Pathfinders have just come to attention. As we await the celebration.
the parade is being dressed at the moment to get back into their positions. After which the parade commander will give the signal for the Pathfinders to come on the parade.
So dressing means tidying them up.
After they march past to make sure they're back in their lines straight.
Next phase of the parade will be a display to be done by the Pathfinder Ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
And we hear the cheers from the crowd.
Pathfinders this year because they are celebrated in August 65 years of their official adoption as a Pathfinder Club and as a worldwide program. The display grouping comprises guide-ons, a drill team, and splendidly bedecked Pathfinder band. They're marching on to the song, Lord, I lift your name on high. Much of the drill display will be done in a precision manner. With the formation of a broken trident, the number 65 and the number 49. The guide-ons or flag bearers will then do a series of salutes. The guide-on is an integral part of drill and ceremonies of the Pathfinders Club. It is indicative of the club's North American roots. The guide-on or flag bearer is seen as the standard bearer, the center to which the detachment, particularly in battle, would rally. The detachment commanders will invariably be co-located with the standards or guide-ons. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax as the Pathfinders celebrate their 65th anniversary with a display this morning on parade.
The Pathfinders have one of the largest bands in Barbados. They can range up to about 100 strong.
Really?
Yes. And usually for the parade, we have to limit the numbers to about 60 because we cannot accommodate this size.
They're addressing His Excellency.
Yes, he is reporting to His Excellency on the state of the numbers that are on parade at the moment.
"65 years is a long time, and I've noticed some of the Pathfinders, their sashes are full of badges."
This is Pat Bryan, the National Master Guide Coordinator. I may give you permission. The Pathfinders will commence the display. And will form a trident. On each side of the trident, the drill team will form the number 65.
Here on the screen, we can see them forming the trident in the center. and the number 65 in celebration of their anniversary. The 6 on the left and the 5 on the right.
65, the Pathfinders will dip. In celebration of the 65th anniversary of the Pathfinders' establishment in Barbados and the world.
At this moment, Peter, our viewers at home will be seeing the formation better than the ones here at the garrison because of the area view.
5 having it for the reviewing officers to observe. The drill team will now form the number 49 to denote the 49th year of independence of our beloved Barbados.
And it is significant that they formed the broken Trident because we have another special event coming up.
Most definitely. And also that they've been playing the music of Joseph Niles.
Yes, it is. It's that they're honoring him at this.
They're honoring him as well.
The guidon bearers will now commence their series of maneuvers and demonstrate 3 forms. Salute.
The guidon bearers, as we are watching, are doing a precision drill sequence.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's more to come.
The crowd is showing their appreciation.
Someone shouted they're sharp.
And once again, this shows the hours that have been put in.
Complete the display. The guidon unit is forming a triangle, which is the universal logo of the Pathfinder ministry. The triangle represents Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Reporting officer seeks leave of His Excellency the Governor General and will rejoin his unit as they depart the parade square.
Well, as we've said, the parade has many things happening, at the same time. So during the Pathfinders display, what would the others be in preparation for?
Well, during this stage, we would have had the members of the gun salute team preparing themselves for the salute to the nation.
This train is a holy train. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating their 65th and Barbados' 49th. The Pathfinders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We would also have had the members for the Broken Trident Escort Party forming up by the main guard. The Pathfinders have done a wonderful job this morning. And they march off, continuing to pay tribute to Joseph Giles.
Well done. Proud hearts to let them pass, and they're showing their appreciation with loud applause and cheers. Very well done. Well done.
You would have heard the parade commander.
So, we get ready now for the
salute to the nation.
To the nation. Very important part of the parade.
Parade commander is preparing the parade for the next phase, which is the salute to the nation.
For the advancing review order, the troops march forward 14 paces.
So it's set.
It's set.
The official party will take up its position in front of the saluting dais, facing the national flag at this time. The official party comprises His Excellency and His ADC, the Prime Minister and ADC, the Chief of Staff and the Commissioner of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the salute to the nation.
Salute to Barbados! Present! Arms!
We will now be led in prayer.
Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, pray for our country, Barbados, celebrating 49 years of an independent nation, that we may be a people of peace and a blessing to all people. We pray for all governors, Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, for members of both houses of Parliament, praying, Almighty God, that you will continually grant them wisdom and grace in the exercise of their duties. Pray for judges and magistrates and all who exercise justice in the law courts, that human rights may prevail. We pray for doctors and nurses and all who care for the sick, that we may ever be mindful of the vulnerable among us. For home and family life, that our homes may be havens of safety for our children, and that parents may recognize their responsibility to raise their children aright. We continue to pray for daily life and work, for commerce and industry, so that all in our nation may be fulfilled as we respond to the needs of our country. God and Father of all, graciously bless this our nation, Barbados, and send out your truth to lead us in paths of justice and peace. Give wisdom to those in authority. Unite us in the service of your kingdom, and help us to live in brotherly love and concord through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Canon Burke. We will now be led in the recital of the National Pledge.
Master of the Good Shepherd Primary School, and Miss Ariana Gittins of the Cuthbert Moore Primary School will lead us in the National Pledge. Please repeat after them.
I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados,
I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados,
and to my flag,
and to my flag,
to uphold and defend their honor,
to uphold and defend their honor,
and by my living, to do credit to my nation, wherever I go.
Well, remove headrest! Remove headrest!
The parade will now give
Three
cheers to Barbados.
Heavens! Heavens! Pray! Well, replay! Headrest! Replay! Headrest! Down! Nine! Shoulder! Out! Salute to Barbados! Retake! Out!
The official party will now assume their positions, and His Excellency will return to the saluting dais as we move to the next phase of today's parade. Today is not only the nighttime, signals also the commencement of the 50th anniversary of independence of our dear nation. Today, symbolically, the Governor General, His Excellency Sir Elliot Belgrave, will hand over their broken Trident to the safekeeping of 3 members of the Barbados Defence Force Sports Program. The broken Trident was conceptualized and designed by Mrs. Donna Redmond. It was constructed and donated by Williams Industries as part of the company's contributions to the 50th anniversary of Barbados. His Excellency is handing over the broken trident with the number 50 mark, and Pioneer Riggins under escort by Pioneers Kemar Smith and Antonio, that's Antonio Greenwich, will secure the Trident for other activities during the course of the year. From 1st of December 2015 until the 29th of November 2016, under the theme or Pride the Broken Trident, the Trident will be carried across Barbados' 11 parishes. Its presence will support the community independence celebrations in each parish, and its movement will be in accordance with the Community Independence Celebrations Secretariat Parish Month activities. A wide cross-section of Barbadians will be selected to carry the broken trident on its year-long journey through the island's 11 parishes. On the 30th of November 2016, the broken trident will rest at the 50th anniversary of Independence Monument, which will be constructed right here on the Garrison Savannah.
Pride!
To the parish ambassadors a little later on this morning, and to be kept in their care as they go from parish to parish. I think St. Philip is first.
His Excellency the Governor General will now depart the parade, to be followed by other dignitaries, the Prime Minister of Barbados acting, the Chief Justice, the Chief of Staff, Barbados Defense Force, and the Commissioner of Police. His Excellency will be led and followed by the Royal Police, Barbados Police Force, mounted troop, his escort.
Peter, what our viewers might not have realized is that the Trident also has the Pride of Barbados on it as well.
We'll get an opportunity to chat with the designer, hopefully, a little later on before the end of our broadcast, and to perhaps delve into her creative brain and, you know, get an answer to perhaps why certain things were chosen. So, looking forward to that.
Yes. Here we see the acting Chief of Staff and the acting Commissioner of Police bidding goodbye to His Excellency the Governor General.
Excellency has departed the parade.
We've seen the departure of His Excellency, the Governor General, and since it is in reverse
yes,
order,
we are now seeing the departure of
the acting
Prime Minister,
the Honourable Richard Seeley. And what our cameras might not have picked up was the ex of Barbadians running to get an opportunity to see the mounted troop as it left with His Excellency.
As well, Peter, as getting a position on the road to see the remainder of the parade march to Bridgetown.
Right. It's a set thing, you know. This is the event that they look forward to, and every year they're here cheering us on, and I think that's fantastic.
Now, I've been to many parades, and what I have noticed increasingly happening is how much the Barbadian public is showing their national pride with the colors.
Yes.
You know, before you didn't see as much blue and yellow, but now it's very distinctive.
Most definitely, and that's a lovely shot as we saw his arrival, we're now seeing his departure. His Excellency, the Governor General, Sir Elliot Belgrave.
And the mounted troop will take leave of His Excellency at the museum.
Next dignitary to depart the parade is the Honourable Sir Marston Gibson, Chief Justice of Barbados.
After the departure of the Chief Justice, we will have the departure of the Acting Chief of Staff and the Acting Commissioner of Police. They will join the Acting Prime Minister at Government Headquarters, where he will be given a salute from the troops on parade.
And meanwhile, here at the garrison, the parade is still standing.
You may be seated.
They're still standing at attention where the dignitaries are leaving.
The final dignitaries to depart the parade will be the Acting Chief of Staff, Barbados Defence Force, Commander Ayrton Sherlin, and the Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tyrone Griffith.
And here we see the Acting Chief of Staff and Mrs. Sherlin, and the Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tyrone Griffith, entering their vehicles. After their departure, the parade commander will give the instruction to have the parade get ready for the march to Bridgetown.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful and a huge audience. Despite the dodgy weather, you came out in your numbers colorfully bedecked to support the 49th anniversary of our dear nation. I now invite you to participate some more by joining the detachments as they conduct the ceremonial march to Bridgetown. Those of you who are here on the garrison, to our friends who are going to be, I suppose, watching on television, following on the radio, or on the internet, you may watch and enjoy on the comfort of your home. To all, thank you very much indeed for joining us here at the Garrison Savannah on television, on radio, on the internet as we celebrate our 49th anniversary of independence. I'm Commander Doris, your parade announcer. Have a great day.
You know, it's really been an interesting parade, and all of the elements that have been put together, you know, to make it what it is. And we actually saw members of the delegation from the medical ship here at the Ark, and we wondered exactly the feelings of the Chinese ambassador who is here, because although there are no foreign detachments on island at this time to be included in our independence parade, there is indeed a foreign visitor that certainly cannot go unnoticed, and the Chinese People's Liberation Army Ark Peace is a floating military hospital of the People's Republic of China. And the Ark Peace is docked in the port of Bridgetown. Just a few days ago it docked, and the vessel is here as part of China's Harmonious Mission for 2015. CBC's Bal Holder visited the Ark Peace and also got the opportunity to speak to Ms. Wan Ki, who is the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to Barbados.
Well, so Barbados and China are friendly countries, so have maintained very friendly countries since we established diplomatic relations 38 years ago. So our bilateral relations has been developing smoothly, healthily, and the economic collaboration and people-to-people contacts has been growing from strength to strength. And my obligation is to try to consolidate and enhance and promote this kind of bilateral relations and cooperations. And you will see that this month there are two major events in relations with China. The Sam Lodge Castle redevelopment, the Sam Lodge Castle Hotel redevelopment project has just had the agreement signing ceremony as well as the groundbreaking ceremony. And today we welcome the PSAC coming here to conduct the mission, harmonious mission, the ship bringing friendship to the Barbadian people, just as Commander Guan introduced that there are serious activities and the interactions, free medical check, medical seminars open to the public tours. I think that they will be invited by the BDF to attend the parade, to observe the parade of the commemoration of the 49th anniversary of independence. So it's really a mission of friendship. I do think that the two major events are the very clear demonstration of the maturity and high-level development of bilateral relations, and will write new chapter in our bilateral relations.
Well, certainly the financial and cultural benefits for Barbados in connection to China are clear. Mm-hmm. What about the reverse of that and your expectations of Barbados?
Well, I think that we need a concerted efforts. We need a concerted efforts. I think that Barbados, they have done a lot in preparation for receiving this PSAC. Of course, they have done a lot in collaboration with outside in doing the negotiation in terms of Sam Lodge Castle Hotel. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you. The jobs well done by the relevant ministries and BDF and agencies like the port, like immigration, like the health, the police.
And we have with us this morning Commander Aquinas Clark. Commander, it's nice to see you this morning.
Good morning, Peter. Happy Independence to you.
Happy Independence. And a very special day. We've just seen the handover of the broken trident, signifying the 50 years that we shall be entering in just a short period of time. Tell us a little bit about your feelings on the broken trident and having participated in so many parades yourself and as a parade commander at some stage.
All right. For me, the concept of the broken trident, when I heard about it, I thought it was an excellent concept. Being a former student of political science and understanding that the 3 points of the broken trident represent the democratic principles of government by the people, for the people, and of the people, I thought it was excellent because, as the Prime Minister has said on the 19th of November, this period of the 50th anniversary is a period of reflection, and not only celebration but also reflection, and we're going to be looking at the things that made us what we are, that we want to retain, those things that are affecting us which we wish to discard, and reclaiming those things which made us Barbadian. And I think the
what do you consider them to be, without me interrupting?
Which thing?
The things which make us Barbadian.
I think one of the things that make us Barbadian is our political stability and being a bastion of democracy throughout the Western Hemisphere, indeed throughout the world. I think our warmth as a people, I think our high standards of education, our high expectations, we are always the hardest judges of ourselves. And when you travel the world, I think when you look back, as I've traveled, you can always see what Barbados is and what Barbados offers to its people. And so that is why, you know, when the Prime Minister says that there are things that we would wish to retain, I think he's spot on, because we need to retain this Barbados that we own, which we called our own from 1966.
And this we take into our 50th birthday,
yes,
our 50th anniversary, and the image that we will see is of the broken trident being handed over to Barbadians to be in their care, and this being done throughout the 11 parishes. You want to give us a little idea?
Well, we're going to partner with the Community Independence Celebration Secretariat on this. The Prime Minister's vision is that this is to be an all-inclusive event, and who better to make it an all-inclusive event than the experts in community independence celebrations. And so we are partnering with the Community Independence Celebration Secretariat to make this a reality. Okay. And so we're going to see that it's going to be moving through the parishes, passing from parish ambassadors to parish ambassadors, etc., as we go through.
Okay. Well, Commander, thank you very much. It's a busy morning, and we can see that the parade is already marching past, and they will be on their way down to salute. I'd let the Prime Minister, the acting Prime Minister, take his salute. And we will get an opportunity to chat also with the designer of the 50th anniversary broken trident.
She's a phenomenal woman. She really is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I believe Sherwood is getting the joy of the music of the mass band at the moment.
Enjoying the vibes here.
Yes,
as
definitely we can see the mass band, the Barbados Defence Force, and also
the left half of the guard, followed by the colour party, and then the right half. And at this time, of course, the soldiers are a bit more relaxed and they're getting the blood flowing because they've been standing still for quite a while. So this is one of the aspects of the parade that they really look forward to. The march all the way to Bridgetown. So first was the mounted troop, followed by the Barbados Coast Guard, followed by the Corps of Women, and the band of the Royal Barbados Police Force.
And of course, the Independence Day Parade is an event which is attended by several Barbadians, and on many occasions you can expect to see individuals well clad in the national colors. We have such with us this morning. Good morning, how are you? This is absolutely beautiful. My colleague here and I, Acting Lieutenant wouldn't even attempt to describe this. Exactly what is this?
Good morning and happy independence to the whole of Barbados. I love you, Barbados.
And Barbados, we all love you. We all love you as well. Did you make this?
I didn't make this one. I didn't make this one.
Could you describe it for us?
This is something off of Elsa Clint's. You know how she dresses? This is something off of her.
But you didn't make the fan. What about the fingernails, the ring?
I made the fan. All of these I made. I bought these, you know, I got these here. I bought. I also designed. You can hold up. You can hold up. Even the shoes I designed. You can see the shoes.
We understand that we can expect something special from you next year.
Yes, I plan to do something big for Barbados, not for me. I plan to portray all of the prime ministers outside of my home, along with the map of Barbados, and put a showcase with like the Topsy and the Basin and the Jerkin board, etc. I want to do something.
All Barbadiana.
Yes, just a minute. We have the
Thank you very much. We look forward to that.
Passing in the background. Looking very splendid in the blue and white, always a spectacle. And here we have the Barbados Cadet Corps just giving us a change arms. And these are the future leaders of the Barbados Defense Force, so to speak. You usually find that a number of persons who are in the Defense Force actually would have come through the Cadet Corps, myself included.
For example, one of the oldest youth organizations in Barbados and in the region, that is, formed in 1904.
And here we have the sports program.
The sports program of the Barbados Defense Force.
Definitely. Everybody looking very proud and very sharp at this time.
And of course, the many Barbadians are following the parade and making their way down to Bay Street and no doubt into Independence Square, where something special is expected to happen down there as well. It is always a wonderful occasion here for all of us. Excitement, a very festive movement. All of us no doubt are proud as we celebrate the 49th anniversary of the attainment of independence here in Barbados.
And as we look in the background, it's really pleasing to see all the blue and yellow really standing out amongst those persons who are here watching the parade. And hear music come in, so that means that we now have an armed units about to pass.
And they're led by the band of the Royal Barbados Police Force.
The band is actually already passed. This is the Royal Barbados Police Force detachment, and then following on behind them.
And there you hear the applause. A very appreciative crowd here on the garrison. In a sense, they are saluting the many detachments as they pass by.
You hear the crowd screaming, and with the excitement, you can hear that.
Yes.
And
Band is coming now.
really looking forward to this part of it. And they're looking very sharp.
And the big advantage this morning is that it is a relatively cool morning. I'm sure this is something which they are enjoying, and it is to their delight, I'm sure. An institution that was first established in Barbados in 1835 and then established again under the Police Act in 1961.
Loving the rhythm. And here we have the first detachment of the unarmed units, the Barbados Prison Service. And following on from the Barbados Prison Service, we have the Barbados Fire Service. So we're going from the red with the Prison Service to the white, the Barbados Fire Service. Here they come.
The Barbados Fire Service, of course, was established in 1840 as the that's the Barbados Fire Service. Yes, yes. And there you see the number of members of the crowd making their way again on the Garrison Road outside of the St. Anne's Fort, all the way down to Bay Street, where the Prime Minister, the acting Prime Minister, will receive the salute. Good morning, sir. How are you? It is always good to see you.
Happy Independence.
Monsignor Vincent, happy Independence to you.
And a very happy Independence to you as well.
Thank you very much. I trust that you're doing well.
I am doing exceedingly well.
Any special thoughts from you? It's the 49th anniversary of our independence.
Well, all I can say so far is that we have had a really good kickoff this morning. The people were wondering about the weather, but I thought that the weather was perfect this morning. It was cool, and the parade went exceedingly well. I would say it was one of the best that I have witnessed for a very long time. And I'm sure that we are all looking forward to next year, the 50th anniversary of independence. And what I like about the whole thing, to see the number of visitors that I saw this morning, as we in Barbados to say, not a tourists,
A lot of tourists.
And then the number of persons who, braved the weather and they came out to celebrate, it shows the pride of Barbados, and in spite of the negative that we're always hearing, Barbados are still very proud people. And this is something I wouldn't have wanted to miss. I was in Tobago, I went for a more relative's funeral, and I came back.
Oh, my sympathy to you.
Thank you. So I came back particularly to be here because the parade is something I never like to miss.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure you will join with me in a sense of welcoming the Pathfinders as this particular group makes its way down Bay Street.
We have to really say kudos to the Pathfinders for the excellent job that they did. I wish them all the very best for the 65th anniversary.
Thank you very much, Monsignor Vincent. Happy Independence to you. Good. The Pathfinders of Barbados. Yes. Take it over.
And here comes the Boy Scouts, followed by their band.
Here comes the St. John's Ambulance Brigade, a first aid charitable organization in Barbados which is celebrating 73 years this year. That means that this organization was established 24 years prior to the independence of Barbados.
And they're followed on by the Barbados Red Cross. And the Barbados Red Cross Society was founded in 1960 as part of the British Red Cross. The Parliament of Barbados passed the Barbados Red Cross Society Act in 1966. Actually, that's the same year that Barbados became a country independent of the United Kingdom.
actually been seeing the Barbadians lining the streets that you were talking about, making their way down there to ensure a good spot to see the parade as it comes by. But right now, as we look at our monitor, we can see the band of the Cadet Corps, and they are on Bay Street.
They're on Bay Street on their way down to giving the salute to the Prime Minister. The troops are broken up into sections for their march down to Bridgetown. They're usually broken up in such a way that each of them has a band to accompany them.
Okay.
What is important is for the bands to synchronize to some extent. They don't play the same music, but it is important for the bass drummer to listen to the one in front so that they all remain in step.
As you see,
they're now in front of government headquarters.
Government headquarters and the acting Prime Minister as he takes the salute.
And now we see one of the detachments of the Cadet Corps, and followed by the Sea Cadets. And here we're seeing the Barbados Youth Service.
This is outside of St. Anne's Fort,
yes.
So we're kind of
going
back
forth
a little bit so that you could see what's happening.
In fact, even as the first detachments have already passed the acting Prime Minister, the last detachment of the Pathfinders is now leaving the garrison.
There you go.
We
did say that things are happening simultaneously this morning. And this is looking down towards Barbados Light and Power. We can see
the Barbados Youth Service.
The Barbados Youth Service. And I'm telling you, the Barbadians are out in their numbers, despite the weather. They are out, and you can see the detachment now from the Pathfinders leaving the garrison Savannah.
Yeah, and they're followed by the government security guards now leaving the
and
Savannah.
Followed by the government security guards, and they are going to join the others. Final stop will be
the final stop for the armed units is in Independence Square, and for the others it is on Province Street.
There you have an aerial view.
Here we have the Royal Barbados Police Force.
I'm trying to see where they are. They're by government headquarters.
They would have passed because the cadets would have been one of the last units of the armed units, so they're probably past government headquarters by now. Here we have the Royal Barbados Police Band, which would have been leading the first set of detachments heading down.
And this is where they take the time then to
this is where they show off.
This is where they show off.
Where they show off.
Oh, I see. This is where
you have
they
the
show
crowds
off.
watching them. You have the music, very, very upbeat at this point, and they definitely show off.
Okay. And once again, outside St. Anne's Fort.
These are the Pathfinders.
These are the Pathfinders.
And there's a feeling you get when the crowd is cheering you on. You know, you really want to put on a display for them.
I'm sure.
And it's really good for members of the public to come out and cheer. The youth definitely like to hear, their friends shouting for them, or their parents there shouting on for them.
And
very nice feeling.
The Barbados Legion
is now leaving the garrison Savannah, followed with
the last detachment. And will they be joining the others, or will they?
They're going to march all the way down.
All the way.
All the way down. These men are stronger than you think.
I can see that.
Of course, there are members who are not able. These are generally the younger members who would have Some of them have left the Barbados Defense Force. They have a few who are older.
Right.
And of course, the Centuries and Corps drums is bringing up the rear.
And here we see
the public
outside St. Anne's Fort. This looks like members of the public.
Yes.
And the government security guards.
So I believe the members of the public are probably picking their favorite detachment and will walk along the side of it.
Yes. And you can see the national colors represented in umbrellas, hats, handkerchiefs. I think the guy was actually saying head dashboard warmers. You could get those national colors in the flag for the car or flag for your hand.
We've been seeing a lot of the flags on the cars in recent times. And this is a view
that's
from
that's a nice
St. Anne's Fort.
view.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have here with us the designer of the broken trident. Remember, we did mention that it's a symbol of the 50th anniversary of independence, and it will be passed from hand to hand to careful hand, through the parishes and their parish ambassadors. And we have with us the designer of the broken trident, and we are hearing that the Barbados Legion is being applauded as they march past just outside St. Anne's Fort. Remember, things are happening simultaneously. Even my conversation will happen that way. So I have here the designer with me of the Barbados broken trident for the 50th anniversary. And Donna, we know that you are a creative individual. Donna Redmond, with Acute Vision, has done some wonderful campaigns over the years. How did you get involved with creating this?
Well, actually, it started with the idea, the concept, because I felt it was necessary that we rebuild the pride in Barbadians, and it has to be all-inclusive, every single one of us. And so I proposed the idea that we do something that would impact on the whole of Barbados, that we do something with the trident, that maybe we carry it from parish to parish, almost like the Olympic flame.
Yeah,
right.
Flame.
And the other thing is that I wanted the idea that we're carrying the pride, that we are showing not only where we've come from and what the broken trident means, but what achievements we've made as a people. I mean, there's so many achievements in that we have, as Barbadians have made, that many people don't even know about, like Alan Emptage, who invented the first search engine. I mean, there's so many different things that Barbadians have done that we're known about, that we in Barbados know little about. And I wanted this to be a visual representation of our pride.
Interesting that you selected of course, our national flower.
Yes.
And the significance of joining I am not creative in that sense.
It's more of the ribbon. The idea.
It's a ribbon.
It's a ribbon. It's the colors of the flag as well. So it also represents those colors and what they mean. But it also is a unifying factor that we are one people. Whether or not we live here in Barbados, or we live in Canada or UK or wherever in Barbados, you will find a Barbadian. The idea is that we are unified as one people.
And so the ribbon carries that.
And the ribbon carries that feeling around. And of course, carrying the pride, meaning, well, we have the trident and we have the pride of Barbados.
Yes.
What else? Better way.
Let me hold it up. I'm going to try, because I'm battling with the wind here, but I hope that you can see it. and it's really pretty, and it's made of some really strong materials like aluminum and copper and
so
that
on, yes.
sort of thing. So
Yes.
it's built to last. Donna, thank you very, very much. And I'm sure that as the 50th anniversary celebrations continue, we're going to have lots more opportunity to chat.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. And, you know, we have had a wonderful morning here at the Garrison Savannah, celebrating 49 years in a great way. Justin producer, Bell Holder, our director, Winston Jack Deere, and the entire production team. On behalf of my co-host, Lieutenant Colonel Atheline Branch, it was wonderful to have you here for another parade.
Indeed, a pleasure. It has been a beautiful morning. Even though we've had the rain,
Lovely
it kept
morning.
it cool.
Yes. And on behalf of the entire crew, I'm Peter Aline, wishing you and yours a happy, blessed, and safe independence.
Welcome to CBC's live broadcast of the 49th Annual Independence Parade 2015. Celebrating 49 years of independence with Barbadians everywhere. Guardians of our heritage, courage, resilience, faith. Happy Independence, Barbados, from CBC TV 8.